Could you imagine trying to fight somebody and they're eating wild stuff?
What is that? Is that? Honestly, that'd be a little, like, it would intimidate me a lot. Like, it would really get in my head. If you ever get in a fight with me and you want to throw me off my game, that's the move. Just whip out some umbilical cord and start munching.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Top Podcast. We actually have a very special episode. It's our first, and statistically probably our last time we'll be able to actually be all in person together. But I'm one of your hosts, Robs, and joined with me are my friends, Mike.
Man, you can just say you're the host. I'm okay with it.
Co-host.
Yeah.
And Lou.
And I'm getting deported, so that's why we're not.
It's gonna be hard. He's coming to you, Denmark. Maybe Singapore. He's a free agent right now. We never know.
I'm a free agent. Take me in.
Hit us up on the Discord. Let us know what country wants Lou the most.
Do you want term or dollars? What do you want with your contract?
Term. Yeah. Term for sure.
So each week we like to start off with an icebreaker. This one comes from our Discord. Feel free to check the descriptions down below for our Discord. But Greensboro Alex says, if you were a bicycle, what part would you be and why? I have to be the wheels because I just get stuff moving.
I like it. I'm probably the seat because I want you to sit on my face. Let's see. It's a very complex question.
It is a very complex question.
I don't know. I'm trying to decide between taking it seriously and not, and it's very, very difficult for me. I want to say the chain, but I don't have a good reason for it.
But you were anti-chain wallets.
I was anti-chain wallets.
You don't like the chains.
But,
okay, you have a full in-depth picture.
This is how
he's looking at all the pieces of it.
this is how I do it when we're in the pod.
Got the patent. Got the patent up there for the first bicycle.
Yeah.
Be the handlebars, because
you direct the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I'd be the brakes, because if I'm not playing nice, this ain't going anywhere.
There you go.
I'm gonna say I'm the cascade. When you put the card in and it goes, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Don't use a holographic.
Can I be a card? Can I be the card in
Sure.
the bike?
Just make it loud.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just thought that's the coolest thing.
You raise the volume and you make it more fun.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And one last one by Greensboro Alec. Would you rather collect rocks or coins? Or minerals or coins, if we want to be correct here.
Coins. I feel like when you get done collecting coins, you can probably sell them for more than your rocks.
Depends on the rock, I feel like.
On the rock. You ever swallowed a coin before? Or?
No.
Me neither.
Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely not me either. No, I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I eat rocks all the time, but
You eat rocks?
yeah, salt.
No, that's true. I guess that. Yeah.
Got 'em. Son.
Yes, science!
Yeah, I'm gonna do rocks. I think rocks are cooler to look at.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like they have that aesthetic. If I just have coins out everywhere, someone's gonna swipe one.
Swipe a coin. Who's stealing coins from you? You're not in middle school anymore, bro. Like,
Well, I'm guessing if you're collecting, it's gonna be like you see a coin that says 1913 on there. It's easy to swipe.
Man, there's no way you're getting a 1913 that quickly. By the time you got a 1913, you got a good security system to keep that safe.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, they're not just in your.
I have a coin from the 1800s, and it's just in a box.
I don't even
Right,
know if 1913 is a good year or not. I'm making stuff up.
I just picked one right there.
1913 did sound like a really good year.
Right? I was like, that's believable.
Yeah, I'm gonna do rocks. Cause there's some really cool rocks, and you can get one of the not the stethoscopes, but
Microscopes?
yeah, no, the single one.
Oh, like the jeweler's glass?
The jeweler's glass.
Yeah.
Kaleidoscope? These rocks are moving.
See, I feel like rocks get bulky, though. Coins, I can just, pack them up in their little books and just hide them away if I want to.
Why, you're not proud of your collection?
That's a good point.
I mean, I'm not proud of either of those collections, to be really honest with you. It's not going to be something I'm bragging about.
At least you get some good vibes with crystals,
There
Ward
you go.
off the vibes.
Ward off the vibes.
Some say that, yes.
You can
Some do say that.
insert them in you and
Well, hold
you
up.
get different.
Pause.
You get the vibes. That's how that works, right?
Bing!
I'm levitating.
Well, if you're a vibes master, comment down below. Let us know if that's the way we got to do it.
That was making it work for me.
So we had a change up this week. We're switching from something about video game characters. We want to know our top 3 video game hot takes. I feel like some of these we kind of came up on the fly, and some I agree with. I obviously agree with all of them, but I don't know how hot they are. My number 3 is I don't regret switching to digital games. I know, Mike, you love physical copy games, but I was, for the longest time, I was, like, no, I want the disc and everything. But my laziness as I get older is just like, no, I don't want to have to go and change the disc. I can just hit this button. And do it.
It is really, I do a hybrid, and I get where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. For me, it's mostly just like the principle of the thing where I'm just like, I don't, like, when they just unalive a game on you like that, and you're just like, I can never...
Yeah,
it's gone.
That's like the only, I think, drawback of it is that you don't technically like own it.
Yeah, which I don't like. But at the same time, it drives me nuts when I have to get up and switch.
Yeah, well, especially now for like Xbox and PlayStations, the game isn't even on the disc. It's just like an unlocker, basically unlocks the code. Yeah. So you have to still download it on the machine, and that's what really I'm just like, what's the point of this disc now?
Yeah.
It's just to know that I own the game. So that's what killed it for me. I think Steam also was the precursor to that was as good.
Right. 2 things I was thinking. GameStop has just really dropped the ball for me. GameStop used to be such a special place for me as a kid.
Always the best.
And now, for some reason, when I get in there, the employees are never nice to me.
They don't have the crystals, man.
I haven't had a good GameStop employee in a long time. And then before, I would be more strongly about it if I didn't have my PC. Mm-hmm. But now that I have my PC, and Steam is such a beautiful thing, so... The discounts are insane. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with... I agree with your hot take.
Yeah. Well, with GameStop, too, it's like they almost stopped being a game store. It's like, yeah, we have games, but, like, I think they're trying to make all their money through their, like, merch.
Pop culture and merch.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's not the same place.
Yeah. Now they have a wall of Funko Pops instead of games and all that.
Right. Yeah. And, like, it used to be the best, just going through and searching for used games, but I feel like nobody wants to sell their used games to GameStop anymore either, because we all know you're getting just so shortchanged.
Shafted.
Well, and just everyone's turned digital anyways for the most
part.
Right,
so there's not as many used games to...
That's a good point, too.
To sell. And I feel like it's usually like a tiny little discount. It's like, oh, I got like $5 off. I may as well buy it new if I really want a physical copy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did love the booklets, though. You don't even get the booklets anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing of the past. Those were great.
Another reason why it's like now we don't even get those. Yeah. You might get a card to get like, a week of Xbox Live or PSN Plus, so that's what it's called, right?
Yeah. Scott the Woz had a really good video on, I want to say it was Scott the Woz, had a really good video on like the history and like the slow degradation of the manual. Like in the 80s and like the early Nintendo years, it was like these massive, it was like you got the lore, there was all this crazy like art and stuff, and then like it got to the point where it was like, it's just a picture of the controller with the and then it became only in black and white, and now it's just gone.
That's sad.
Yeah, those were good times. There was, when I was a kid, I went to a GameStop with a couple of my buddies. Like, his mom dropped us off, and she was like, I gotta run, like, grab something down the street. I'll be right back. It was like 15 minutes.
Daycare,
Yeah, I mean, we were trying to go to, it was kind of like, it wasn't quite like that, but it was like, we're gonna buy this and then walk out and just wait for her out there. But, like, the guy behind the counter tried to pitch something. Whatever deal they were running or promotion he had to pitch. And he did a legitimately great job expressing like, hey, this is what it is, this is the value. And as a kid, I was like, oh man, that's actually like we don't have the money. I have $12. Like we have enough to buy this game, the 3 of us. But I told him, I was like, dude, you're a really good salesman. Like that was a great pitch. Like I was trying to compliment the guy. He got so mad at me. And he was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, dude, I'm just he like kicked us out. I was like, I mean, we already bought the game. We're not like actually, but like I've just never forgot that. Just really like I was like, wow, really good job, man. He was like, fuck you. I was like, what is your deal?
How old were you?
I was pre-7th grade. That's all I know for a fact.
Oh, hey man, good job. Probably you're just patronizing.
Yeah,
maybe. But like I was just like, oh no, that was a really like well put together
nice pitch there. You could totally be a salesman. I was like, screw you, kid.
There was also, I wanted a PlayStation 2, but I didn't have enough money. So I sold my GameCube and got a PS1, which is, in hindsight, not a good move.
Yeah. Math does not add up.
And then we realized, like, okay, this was a mistake. I'm going to return with the return policy. I'm going to deal with no video games for a little while. I'm going to save up the extra $40 or whatever that I need, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna be a PS2. But I took every single used sticker off every single thing I bought, because that's just how I did. I did not want those on my boxes. Mm-hmm. And the employees were so mad at me. Like, I returned everything, and they were like, man, did you take the stickers off all of these? And I was like...
They're on your forehead. And
yeah, why wouldn't I? And they were just like, oh, dude, you know how much work you made for us? I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hated when the stickers, like you couldn't get all the goop off.
Yeah. Yep.
Or if they, like, put it on the case inside of it, so it ripped off part of it.
Yeah.
I never had any sticker problems.
No?
Yeah, I was just never...
I guess those Detroit stickers don't have
They
the same sticking power.
It'll stick the same.
All right, so I got a lukewarm take, a warm take, and a hot take. A lukewarm take is that games need to be shorter and have worse graphics. I can't be the first person to have had this take. I guarantee you it's on YouTube if you look. I couldn't point to one, but I'm sure it's out there already. But, like, you guys remember Spyro, Sly Cooper, Crash, Mario? Like, these games, like, they didn't have to be these massive 100-hour over-bloated nightmares that they are now. And a lot of games just kind of aren't fun. It's like, just give me a shorter game, make it 20 hours, and make it whimsical and fun. Mm-hmm. And, like...
You didn't like the Rick and Morty game? What was that called?
I definitely didn't play the Rick and Morty game.
High Life or something? I think that's what
it was made by the creators of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd check it out.
I don't know.
But...
Yeah.
Like,
it's a whimsical game.
Yeah, I miss that kind of, like... I think because we can do these hyper-realistic graphics... And because we can make these open world games, I get it. But it's the Jurassic Park thing.
I'll tell you the problem with power that you're using here. You patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You're going to sell it. But your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Yeah, when you say that stuff, I think of like how Assassin's Creed is now, and I want to meet a person that's Assassin's Creed is their favorite series still.
Right.
Because those games...
Is there... If you're one of those people, comment down below.
Yeah.
And I'll call you a liar.
Because those games are like 100-hour plus games, and they try to be as realistic as possible, but they're dead.
They're soulless.
I agree with you with the bloat, but I think graphics are just a stylistic choice to do whatever fits your style.
Yeah, but I think there's a certain element of, like... When there was the graphical limitation of some of the older systems, they did, like, there was just more fun because, like, they had to be kind of creative in, like, the way they would do graphics.
Yeah.
And so it just lent itself to a more, like, lighthearted, less serious thing. Like, even the Spyro remake looks great, but they didn't, like, try to make it hyper-realistic, you know? Like, maybe not worse graphics, but just...
More animated.
Yeah, more animated, less, like, hyper-realistic. Yeah, because, I think when you're doing hyper-realistic, it leads to a certain...
And it doesn't age as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
My first one I'm going to choose is I've never truly loved any GTA games. Never enjoyed really any of them. I think the times that I did play them was also the times that I've enjoyed like shows like Family Guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
like immaturity.
Just the immaturity, the blowing up, just killing as many hookers as possible.
Well, maybe you should, branch out.
Engage with the story.
Yeah.
Is that not
diversify your murder?
That's pretty.
You can't leave a trail. You gotta spread it out.
I mean, yeah. So I grew up. So I'm assuming you guys didn't grow up playing GTA games.
I played GTA Vice City at Kevin's house because I wasn't allowed at my house.
Right.
PS2.
Yeah. So I think I played GTA 3 first as a child, and I figured out the girls with the short skirts gave the most money when you kill them. And I pretty much, as I got older, continued that same tradition. And looking back, I'm like almost embarrassed to have this like lineage of video gaming. And yeah, I've just never found. I think Rockstar is a pretty decent company. I loved Red Dead Redemption 2. I think that was a pretty
so wild to me that the same company made both those games.
Yeah. What a weird.
Very different vibes.
Very different vibes. But yeah, I went back to play. I went back to watch a Family Guy episode and was like, I can't watch this anymore. This is ridiculous. And I feel the same way about GTA. So
no, that's fair. The only one I ever played was 5, which is, I guess, the best one or one of the better ones.
Debatable, yeah.
And it was like, this is fine to have on with the boys around, and we're just passing the controller whenever somebody gets busted by the cops. But like, I did not understand the appeal. And like, I was like, yeah, sandboxes are fun, but I don't know.
That's why I think it mostly is the sandbox element. I mean, the story's there. It can be hit or miss, but especially like for me, GTA 5 Online, when that first came out, me and the boys would have a crew and go do different missions. That's where it really worked. It's shown. She wouldn't get until like 4, but 4 didn't have the sandbox like 5 did. But
yeah.
I think that was GTA at the peak for me.
Yeah, 5. I mean, I will say like 5 did have a pretty good sandbox. It was a pretty awesome. Different cities. You could go out into the not the desert, but like the sandy area.
Oh yeah, there's some really cool terrain variation.
Yeah, but
that's the thing though. For me, it's like if I want to just play a cops chasing game, I'd rather play like Need for Speed Most Wanted. You know, if I want to play a shooter game, there's going to be other shooters I'd rather... Like, I just don't feel like it scratches the itch best for any of the things it does.
I agree.
But GTA 6, though, the world is, like, degraded so much that the trailer didn't even feel like a parody anymore. It's just like, no, that's just Florida.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's a parody on, like, the American society and, like, the greed and lust that, like, we have as a society. But now I'm just like, yeah, that's just what it is.
That's so funny.
Degradation. What is it?
Degradation?
Degradation, yeah.
Am I wrong to say, like, I thought the trailer was cut from, like, actual footage?
There are parts that are actually from actual footage.
Okay.
Which, again,
yeah,
it's just Florida.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's my number 2. And I don't know if it's a hot take, but as of right now, gaming is, with the whole of gaming peaked in the 7th generation. So that was Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii U. I think as we might get some more quality games now, but gaming as a whole was better. You know, you get more.
I'm with you on that.
The quality on the board was better. Because obviously, I think like Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3 and all that is better now.
Sure, there's going to be spikes.
Those games, but gaming as a whole now is kind of crappy overall.
I'm
a lot
with
of money
you on
grabs.
that. Yeah.
I'm going to have to disagree.
Oh.
I think all of my favorite games are PlayStation 4 and up. I don't think there's any PlayStation 3 game or Xbox game or Wii U game that holds up to any of the games that I'm...
Not even like Call of Duty back then?
I will say Call of Duty... Well,
okay.
I think people would argue that games are for kids. And around that time, how old we were high school. And so that's like peak time. Your schedule's so open to play those kind of games.
Yeah. Same with college, though. You know, that was the next generation. I feel like
I agree. I think I was way busier in college than I was in high school. I will say. I think.
Well, so you were an athlete and everything, so it was a lot.
Right.
It took a lot of your time.
Yeah, it was the key word in that sentence.
Yeah, I just blew off college pretty hard, so I had lots of free time that year.
But like, I feel like sports games were better then. Like that's when they peaked. Even last generation, they was just copy and paste. Really, shooters. I mean. I think peak Call of Duty, peak Battlefield.
Yeah,
is
Call
about
of Duty
or Halo. Like those were the best in that generation.
So if I brought a Xbox One with the newest Call of Duty and I brought it back in time and I gave it to you, and you were like, play this, which one would you more?
Compared to like Modern Warfare 2, like if you got Modern Warfare 3 now versus like Modern Warfare 2 back then.
Yeah.
I think Modern Warfare 2 would be better. Well, also because like Call of Duty is straight away from their arcade shooter. Like they tried to be more realistic. I feel like.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I think I would lose my marbles if I was playing a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 4
appeared.
Yeah.
But see, that was like I feel like it's mostly graphics, like gameplay wise. It's not as good, especially if you know like you have the microtransactions or the bloat that you get now.
I will say for Call of Duty, that side cancel mechanic is beautiful, and I went back to play Modern Warfare 2, and it was chunkier.
You like that? You like the dolphin dive?
I like a good dolphin dive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me personally. It's just more fluid for me.
Yeah, and then like RPGs, like Skyrim and Oblivion, in my opinion, like those other Scrolls games 4 and 5 are like the peak RPGs. Dark Souls. You might be able to argue Witcher 3 on the 8th generation, but
Witcher 3 is pretty good. Elden Ring, I think, is better than.
Elden Ring is definitely the best Soulsborne game, I think.
And then Dark Souls 3 is 2016.
Yeah, so that one.
And I think Dark Souls 3 kills Dark Souls.
Yeah. All right. I haven't beaten 1 or 2, but I really enjoyed 3, so. But then that's like a single game, though. I
respect it, yeah. I'm going a little past. I'm going away from
what about you, Mike?
I'd say after the whole conversation, I don't think that gaming peaked in the 7th generation. I think it was definitely closer to the late GameCube era.
So you're done with the other one. You're going back.
I think it peaked even earlier than that, man.
Peaked in the third.
Melee,
SNES.
Double Dash,
Double Dash is so good.
Tony Hawk's Underground,
that's
Battlefront
actually been my hot
2, the good original version, not this new Battlefront 2 crap that nobody wants to play.
What a shot.
Madden 04.
That's a hot take. I like Mario Kart 8 more than Double Dash.
Really?
I also did. Well, I didn't have anyone to play Double Dash with, so it was just.
I was gonna say, I think Mario Kart specifically, everybody gets one, and it's the one you can put the time into to get really good at. Because it's like, for me to be as good at any Mario Kart game as I am at Double Dash, I would have to lose my job. Like, it would have to be my full-time job to, like, get back to that level.
Well, now we're opening up a Patreon for Mike to be a full-time competitive.
If you pay my salary, I will do nothing but get good at Mario Kart all day long. I'll be great. I don't see it happening, but you know, and so like that's part of why I like Double Dash the most, is because that's the one that I am the best at, and it's just like I'm never gonna have the free time to get that good at another one.
Yeah, me and my family used to play music and do Double Dash tournaments all the time, so we would like just cut the sound off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I loved Double Dash's soundtrack, but that still could be really awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool as a kid.
Also, Need for Speed Most Wanted plus the Underground 2 were both great.
That was good.
I mean, I can respect the 6th generation being your peak, because then, that's, Xbox, PlayStation 2.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you were probably like a young adult back in like 2006, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Dynasty Warriors 4. Took that a second to sink in. But
Well, I guess for the games I like, 7th generation was peak, like shooters, RPGs.
I think we might be
Downhill.
coming into like a new renaissance, though.
Could be there.
Like I think we're coming. Like I think the AA movement is about to.
I think so.
Yeah,
as well.
indies popping up.
I think indies-
but the high budget indies, like Helldivers 2. That game's nuts, man.
Yeah.
It looks like a AAA game. It plays like an indie. It's like it's the perfect balance. There's microtransactions, but
Power World.
you don't need them.
It's been a while since I've thrown
Like
that one.
everything they did in that game is just.
Did Power World drop off for you? Have you?
I just haven't had the time to play it. I really enjoyed it, but I need to beat it.
There's a way to beat it.
Yeah, it's like getting to the
Enslave
max
everybody.
and
Yeah.
having them come to your retreat. It's a labor retreat. They work, clear their mind.
A labor retreat.
Honestly, I could see that being nice. Like
You just come and do
you-
physical
like,
labor.
yeah, go work on a farm for a week.
Yeah. See?
I don't know that I'd pay to go work on a farm for a week, but like that'd
Yeah,
be a
they got
good-
your food and water. I got nice hot springs for them. Why? It's not slavery.
I saw a video where it was straight up a Chinese labor camp.
I haven't gotten to the
So-
point where I can, get the production
So,
lines yet.
okay.
But right now,
So you haven't gotten to the point.
no, I
That's
guess I
fair.
haven't got very far.
It's a happy, peaceful game in the first 2 hours.
You're still murdering them almost immediately.
I haven't played it at all.
Well, it's like Minecraft. You're not gonna, I like cows, but you gotta murder in Minecraft to get places.
But they're not your pals. That's the difference.
You can get cows as a friend.
You can get a name tag, name them
Yeah.
up.
Just because
Edgar
you
the
name
cow?
something doesn't mean it's your pal. But yes.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's the rule. You don't
I'm-
name
you
it,
don't
then
name it.
you're attached.
yeah. Can't name a cow if you're planning on eating it.
I mean, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it.
You're a freaking psychopath if you do.
That's all I'm saying. All right, we'll go past it.
My number 2 is Breath of the Wild would have been a better game if it had been the exact same game, but they had just removed all Zelda elements from it and made it its completely new IP.
I mean, because we kind of talked about this at lunch beforehand, but I agree that I like the old Zelda format better, but I don't think renaming it would, like, it definitely wouldn't have been as, I don't know. So yeah,
I don't think it would have been as immediately popular and accepted.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the only reason I don't like Breath of the Wild that much is because the whole time I'm just aware of everything that the game isn't, in the sense that for decades you said Zelda, it meant it meant the same thing.
Yeah, the same.
And now you roll in and you say Zelda, it means something totally different. My expectations aren't met. If you just handed me a game called Breath of the Wild, I knew it was everything that Zelda Breath of the Wild is, but you just removed the Zelda specific stuff and reskinned it, I think I'd have loved that game.
Here's the thing, I just don't think Breath of the Wild and Tears are as good as they get praised for.
I don't either. But
So
I
I
think
think removing it would have changed it. I would have been like, this is kind of an empty open world.
yeah, but I think like one of my favorite, like there's points where like I'll just play just to be walking around and enjoying. It's like nature simulator almost.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
I
it's in the middle of winter and I just want to go walk in the sun. I'll throw on some Breath of the Wild and just go on like Like, I don't care about the story. I don't care about anything. I'm just going and enjoying the world. And I think I'd have been able to enjoy that element way more and for way longer if I wasn't like, where's my effing hook shot? The whole time.
I have no skin in the game or no dog in the fight, really.
That's fair.
I do wonder, like, if they did reskin it and it was just a sword and shield hero, would people lose their mind and be like, this is supposed to be Zelda?
It is. Oh, that would be so crazy.
Yeah.
This would have been even better. They should have made this Zelda.
Can't win.
So, I don't know. Yeah.
Just wish they would have fixed the weapon mechanic. You know,
Weapon
durability.
For durability.
The durability is a bummer. Honestly, if they had just let you repair weapons too, even if the durability was just as horrible, but you could like go spend a consumable at a blacksmith, or even like I don't know, just as horrible. Like they break so fast. I feel like you get like 5 enemies per sword. That might be an exaggeration, but it's not a big one.
Depends on what quality. At first, when it's all wood stuff,
Like
5 enemies.
But like if you can get to like a steel sword or like a knight sword or whatever it's called, and it's like even if you just let me have 30 enemies before it breaks. But I can be finding minerals and taking them to blacksmiths at like the what are those, like the little encampment horse places and
Stables.
and just like cool. Let me spend money to repair this. I'd have been fine with it.
Horse resort, please.
I'm happy that somebody picked that up as well. You said encampment horse stables or encampment horse camp.
There were commas in there. I was just talking really fast.
Yeah, for me, it's just like with craftables. That's one of those like bloat things. I think it's just in modern games. Everything is craftable now because then you could add time because you have to go back and get that. So it just bloats out the game. I think Breath of the Wild is one of the main perpetrators of that getting that big. It's like now even Animal Crossing has like a craftable tools and there's no point for it.
Yeah.
And I just wish that was gone.
Yeah, that's fair. I did not engage much with the crafting in. Well, because what crafting is there's cooking,
which is kind of fun to do.
Which I understand that because you're making food.
But then
I just don't like how much I feel like I have to toggle menus. Like if I don't have all the right weapon equipment, it breaks. I have to pause the menu.
Yeah, no, that is a real pain.
It's like in Dark Souls, isn't there a little bit of durability in Dark Souls, but you just like pay for it?
There's enough durability that you almost never have to worry about.
And so it's great. So I'm not like in the middle of a fight pausing to switch my weapons around. It's less inventory management.
Honestly, I wouldn't even be upset if the durability got decreased in Dark Souls and they made it more of a factor.
I even forgot it was a thing because there's not a thing in Elden Ring.
Yeah, like basically, well, that's the thing too. Is like unless you like run into something that is like has like it causes degradation to your weapon. You might have to do it once if you grind for hundreds of hours on
and you just pay money, so it's a lot easier.
It's just souls.
Get Andre there.
Yeah, I think durability can be a fun factor, but you got to balance. And like I get it, like I've heard the argument a million times. Like, well, the idea is that you're gonna have to use a bunch of different stuff, but it's like that's not really what it works. You just end up grinding for 4 knight swords and then blowing through them.
If I like the aesthetic of a knight sword or whatever, even because that's a good one, but like a lesser one, I like the aesthetic. Why do I want to keep on grinding? Just give me that.
That's a good point.
And it's like, I think that, or at least for me, I felt like spears in Breath of the Wild sucked. And it was like, they just are objectively not as good as a sword. Now, maybe you put in some kind of forced story moment where, like, something happens and all you have is a spear. You have to use a spear for a mission or something. That'd be fun, because there's, like, a reason that you're using the spear other than, it's just what's around. I'm never going to choose to use a spear in that game. It's not a good time.
That's why in Tears of the Kingdom I always did, I didn't finish it, but I always did a sword, then a spear, so it's just a long sword with reach. Not the other way around.
Yeah, it's just about stab. It's just like, ugh, not fun. I think they could have found ways to make the different or weapon types more unique and like have bigger gaps in the pros and cons. Then I would have been more interested in it, because like if you take a game like Dynasty Warriors, even though that game was all just attack spamming essentially, like you could feel the difference between somebody with a sword and somebody with a halberd. They played different. Even though all the combos were the same. I'm like, I wish that would have been made it. I think there's a million things they could have done to make me less annoyed by the durability, and they didn't do any of them.
Yeah, I just can't think of games with like a lot of good spear combat. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dark Souls definitely sucks. I just picked one up. Tried to pick one up today. That didn't work.
Yeah, no fun.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Have you ever played the Zelda Dynasty Warriors game?
I have. It's fun.
Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, I think it's built for co-op. I think it is in terms of like having fun.
Yeah, me and Kevin played a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We should bust that out on next guys' night. We can just kind of pass the controllers around.
That'd be dope.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Warrior games are great, but they're very good. Like just turn off your mind and
I never played one, so
yeah. But you're basically just hitting A and B.
Yeah, it's just like A/B combos
Nice.
and then managing your special meter.
Yeah.
But it's a fun like just mow through waves of enemies, get that rush.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I wanted to play the prequel to Breath of the Wild. They made it for the Hyrule Warriors.
Age of Calamity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looked good.
It looks cool. Maybe if Switch 2 is backwards compatible. At this point, I just don't want to buy Switch games anymore.
Yeah. So, question: you play for gameplay over story.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the Breath of the Wild storytelling?
I liked it actually. I was fine with it. I felt like it wasn't too obtrusive. I could have used a little bit more nudging in one direction or the other personally, but not a ton. And like,
that was a lot different than previous Zelda formulas.
Yeah.
The story was like basically you could skip it all if you wanted.
Well, yeah, and it's like if you've seen one, you've seen them all more or less. Like the same beats are there pretty much every time. Like I remember the first time I got the 3 penance or whatever. I got the Sacred Stones in Ocarina of Time before I got the 3 penance in Link's Awakening. And when it took me so long as a kid to get the 3 penance because I didn't own the game. It was only when I could go to my grandma's, and so it was like this long, drawn out affair. And I finally got him. I was like, I beat the game. And I was like, oh man, they did the same thing here too. Wait, no, hold on, that's backwards. As far back as essentially Zelda 3 and 4, it's like we're just doing the same thing. 3 and then 8, or 3 and then 6, or whatever.
Not Link's Awakening.
That's true. I forget about Link's Awakening. Is such a unique Zelda game though.
All those Game Boy ones were like seasons and ages.
Yeah, those were sweet. I never beat them, but they were a ton of fun.
I forget which one. One's more focused on puzzles and one's more focused on combat. Don't remember which one.
Yeah. I want to say Seasons is combat, Ages is
I thought it was Switch, but who knows?
puzzles. Because you can do a lot of time-based shenanigans with puzzles.
That makes sense. I watched the King K.
Yeah, his
perspective on
King
that.
K, man. Love me some King K.
Also, Kyle, in case you're wondering, I am wearing the 4 Horsemen hoodie that I finally got a year and a half later. But
It was clean.
there we go.
It looks nice.
They said didn't just waste that $50.
It was a long-term investment.
Yeah.
All right, my number 2, which I don't know if this is gonna hit for you guys, but I think it's a hit for somebody. Bloodborne isn't the best Soulsborne game in the series.
I thought Elden Ring was what people thought.
People still think Bloodborne is number 1, and I don't think neither of you guys have played Bloodborne, right?
I've played a little bit of it. And I really enjoyed it.
Right. You really
enjoyed
enjoyed
it on
it,
PC.
Yeah.
but didn't finish it.
No, so I was living with Riley, and he had the PS4, and then he sold his PS4, and I still have the copy of Bloodborne. I just haven't got around to playing it since I got the PS5.
Can you? I forgot. Is PlayStation 5 backward compatibility?
Yeah, it's backward with 4, so I could play it at this point. I just haven't gotten around to
You
it.
could, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people rave in it, and I think it's because it's faster paced.
Mm-hmm. It's a much quicker.
It's much quicker, and people love the aesthetic of it being the
It does hit different being what is it? Gothic.
goth. I can't remember the other. It's goth something, right?
Lovecraftian.
Yeah, Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just there's a couple things that they decided to do outside of the original Dark Souls vibes that I just.
You don't like the gun?
So hard. Well, I'm not good at parrying.
Yeah, parry's not my go-to in any of these games.
Yeah, I suck at parrying. I'm more of a shield heavy weapon guy myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I did enjoy the hammer. So the best mechanic that they had is that they had the 2 weapon to 1 weapon. So,
yeah, that was so cool.
So that was really cool.
I don't know, you haven't played it. Every weapon essentially has 2 forms.
Okay.
It's like if you have you can get the cane and you swing the cane like a sword, but then you can smack the cane against the ground and it becomes a whip and you get range. Or you got an axe that can turn into a halberd and very cool.
Yeah, so that is the coolest thing about it. My favorite was the sword that turns into the
whip?
Not the whip, but it had
I became Soul Calibur.
No, it had the stone. It was like the Excalibur where you put it into the stone and it becomes a
Oh,
hammer.
and then it becomes a hammer.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
That was my favorite, easily my favorite. But
Oh, that's right. You always go for a hammer if there's a hammer.
I always go heavy weapon if possible.
Yeah.
Me too.
But
my first run's always a heavy.
Yeah.
Big strength build.
I love a good bonking. I think that's gonna go out well. But yeah, not a fan. So my least favorite part is that you always have to go. So there's no map, so you would always have to go to the main hub and then hop through somewhere else.
Oh,
and then the force farming is absolutely ridiculous. So there's no.
Oh, I agree with you on that. That was a pain.
There is no Esca flask or any type of flask. You have to just farm for blood.
Yeah, it's much closer to like Demon Souls in that sense.
Yeah, so I've never played Demon Souls. But
That's like the worst part about Demon Souls.
Is
you
it
have to
like
go...
is it trying to be like super close to Demon Souls? Because Demon Souls also was they had a hub world.
I think
don't know if they were
I
just
think there
trying to
was
do a
some
lot of nods
inspiration.
to it.
I think there was
obviously there's inspiration.
Yeah.
It's the same
Right.
like creators and everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be really interested to hear why that decision was made. Well, because they even did it a little bit with Dark Souls too. Because like Dark Souls had the Estus Flask, and the Estus Flask, for my money, is the perfect health regen system.
I think so. I don't think of anything. I can't think of anything else.
Now I will say I think it was even
Pause in
improved
combat
upon.
to eat a lot of food during a boss fight.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Wheels of cheese.
Press pause and eat 7
Same in Skyrim.
steaks.
I remember there's people complain about that for Skyrim, but same thing in Breath of the Wild. You're just
Yeah, well, it drives me nuts in Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild too. But yeah, it's like I think they did improve upon it in Elden Ring, where you can balance your mana to your health potion. I loved that.
Yeah.
is that in regular Dark Souls as well? I thought they had the blue
No,
one. Or
that
Dark
was-
Souls 3 at least.
That might have been in Dark Souls 3, yeah. But in Dark Souls 2, it was like you could kind of get an Estus Flask, but you really had to do those little crystal things.
Yeah, and your SS Flash drinking in Dark Souls 2 was slow. You had to upgrade
Yeah.
a certain stat.
I don't remember that.
Well, did you ever play? You ever play 2?
It was
Only like
garbage.
3 or
Yeah,
4
it's
hours.
the worst one.
Yeah,
by a mile.
I only played it so I could say I beat every single Dark Souls. But yeah, I was getting whooped on, and I was trying to drink my drink, and he's like drinking it like an old lady. I'm like, bro, drink a freaking drink, bro.
His hand's shaking as he's lifting his Estus Flask off the saucer.
He's like keeping the pinky up.
I didn't know Michael J. Fox was in the game.
Oh my! Wow! Shots fired. Yikes! Oh boy! Sad day.
Someone has to go dark side it. It is sad. Whenever I see videos with him, my heart goes out.
But really, when you think about it, the first 4 of the Soulsborne games, the Estus Flask was kind of an outlier. Because in Demon Souls, it was exclusively consumables. And then they went to Dark Souls, and the Estus Flask was perfect. And then they nerfed the crap out of it in 2, and they gave you those little crystal things.
Yeah.
And then you have the blood vials in Soulsborne, or in Demon, or what the heck? Bloodborne. Jeez. Yeah, and then they finally got it back together for 3.
Well, 3 was before Bloodborne.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
2016, and then I think like 2018 or 17 or something like that.
Oh, I totally had that backwards.
3 was my first actual when I got into Dark Souls, and then I was sad that Bloodborne didn't come to Xbox.
Gotcha. But still, 2 out of 5. So really, it's been like 50-50.
Well, 2 was made by a completely different person.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
So that's why it's a whole nother. Yeah. There was some type of success in 1, and so, and I can't remember why the guy didn't go back.
No, well, I'll bet you it was like, because with the Arkham games, 1 was good, 2 was great, and then they wanted to really take their time before making Arkham Knight. But the publisher, was it Rocksteady, wanted another one, and so they're like, here's all the assets from 2. Let somebody else make it.
That's insane.
And so I enjoyed
Arkham City.
Arkham. That's the second one. Arkham Origins. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun game, but it was that the publisher wants another one, so they're like, here, churn it out yourself then.
I was wanting to get into that series, but I never got far in the first game. I bought a pack on Steam.
Honestly, yeah, the first one's old enough now that it's got some clunkiness.
Even when I was playing it, it kind of felt a little clunky, but it was cool enough.
Yeah,
you really felt like being Batman. That kind of.
Yeah, that said, by the time you get to 2, the clunkiness goes down and the cool factor keeps going up.
Yeah,
and so it's even though it's really a little dated, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could even start with 2 if you really wanted to.
Yeah,
you're not missing that much.
Yeah, the final boss 1 I think is ridiculous. It's just a roided out Joker.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Oh, my bad. Came out in 2008 or something.
Hey,
like
come on, man.
Hasn't been 20 years yet.
That's pretty much it. I mean, I love Bloodborne. I finished it. I thought that, and this is only going to hit for people who finished it, but I thought you had to eat to get to the secret final boss. You have to eat what is the baby? You have to eat umbilical cords.
Ooh.
For some reason
Atrocious.
you could beat the main demon boss god thing. But I thought you had to eat the umbilical cords while you're fighting the final boss.
So you were just
So I'm trying to like eat the umbilical cords and also fight the boss.
Oh jeez.
And I didn't eat my third one, and so I don't know why I thought I had to. Could you imagine trying to fight somebody and they're eating wild stuff?
what is that? Is that?
Honestly, that'd be a little like it would intimidate me a lot. It's like it would really get in my head.
Where'd you
If you ever
get
get in a
those?
fight with me and you want to throw me off my game, that's the move. Just whip out some umbilical cord and start munching.
What was your move when that one kid tried to fight you? Oh, you were like,
I
punch me again?
literally turned to the other cheek. Like he blasted me in like the side of my face, and I just turned to him. I was like, "You want the other side?" And all it was I knew I was not winning this fight,
Right.
and so it was like all my only hope is to just freak him out and then get out of here.
My number one definitely is a hot take, but I think Nintendo would be best at becoming a software company.
Oh, I thought about using that one. I thought about
I don't
that.
even know what that means.
So think of like how Sega was always making their consoles, but then they end up just switching to only making games. And as soon as Nintendo releases a console, it's outdated.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I think they make a lot of money because obviously people that get their games only like they have to buy their consoles for most of their first party games.
Yeah.
But I think they would make that money up and even more if they released it on, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. I just think they'd make a lot more money, and I think that could let them. What's their excuse for why Pokemon's so crap? It's the hardware. Like they can't do it, and that would first of all prove a point that it's just that they suck at making Pokemon.
I don't
games
think
now.
that's the reason Pokemon's bad anymore.
I agree.
I think that's the reason
They're hiding.
that they had some trouble with Scarlet and Violet. But I think the games suck because of design philosophy at this point.
Yeah.
But
Well, they've just always been bad, like coding wise. They've been awful.
oh yeah, that is always. Been
But
a
that's
problem.
that's what a lot of people's are justifications for why they're bad. It's like, oh, it's the hardware, But if Nintendo switched to making actual modern day hardware, not Gen 7 hardware,
Right.
then I think they would be able to do a lot more with their games, and they would be better, and they would reach a wider audience, and in turn make more money.
That's true. I think it's that like Shigeru Miyamoto like design philosophy of like we're gonna build a video game console to be unique and allow us to like do new things with the games, and so I don't think they want to build games.
No, and I don't really care too much for the gimmicks anymore.
I don't either.
I play my
I'm
Switch
so
in the
over
dock
it.
all the time.
Yeah.
I play with the controller,
Right.
not with the gyro or
Yeah, the Joy-Cons.
Joy-Cons. Because I hate the gyro controls. Every time
Yeah.
I give time, I'm just like, I hate this. So I just would like them to be on, PC. I can use mouse and keyboard for games and all that.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think my hot take connected to that is that I don't think Nintendo would survive.
Really?
I don't.
I
don't
think they would.
I think they would flirt.
I mean, I'm just not a Nintendo guy myself. I bought a Switch thinking that I was going to get into, and there's no games that have been. There's no games that has excited me.
You
Yeah.
played Dread?
Which one?
Metroid.
Metroid
Metroid
Dread?
Dread? No, I have not played Metroid Dread, but I would argue that there's better games out there. Even though I never played it, and
Yeah.
so but I did look at the game.
Heard a game called Hollow Knight.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I think indie games are doing better than Nintendo right now.
That's
They
true,
just
but
don't
I
have
think
the
that
branding.
I could see a lot of people picking up. Because it's weird because it's like on one hand it's like Mario Kart. I think is a really good way to look at it. It's like, do people get a Nintendo console just to play Mario Kart? And if so, essentially you're losing out on the hardware sale because now they're just going to get it on PlayStation or Xbox. And are there enough people who would also are there enough people who have an Xbox but don't have a Nintendo console? Because that's usually what it is. It's like I have my real video game console and I have my Nintendo console, and like
I think they could make up for it in sales.
I don't. Yeah, I
Especially
maybe.
internationally. Like outside of Japan and America, I feel like more people are stuck to just one console.
What's a new Nintendo IP that's come out in the past 10 years?
I think the only one that I can think of that I'm like I would have got that if it was on modern hardware, Splatoon.
That's like the only new IP I feel like.
Yeah.
But there has not been anything else.
They ride Zelda and Mario's coattails.
to the end. Like, it's insane, and they haven't created anything new, and I feel like in so long.
Yeah, and I'm not throwing Pokemon in there because they own a third of that company. So
Yes
by
and
Nintendo,
no.
the Pokemon Company, and Game Freak.
Yeah, but like the Pokemon Company, I think was like created as a like it's basically owned by Nintendo.
Basically, but yeah.
It's just like some weird type of agreement they have.
Like even Smash Bros. Now like has Microsoft characters and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's like the main reason why I got a Wii U was why I was one of the 10 people that bought one was for Smash Bros. And all that.
That's the thing, though, is I do think Nintendo makes really good games when they do make games, even if they are just riding a lot of the same IPs.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's Breath of the Wild. Unless,
I mean, I don't know, man. Like,
It's not a bad game.
it's not a bad game. It's just it's literally the
Bad
just
Zelda
expectation. Yeah, it doesn't do what I want it to do as a Zelda game. But like, could you imagine how good that would look on some hardware that works? Like that would look so good on PlayStation.
Mario Kart, Smash Bros.
Yep.
I think those are the only two games I can think of that Nintendo does it the best. I can't think of another game that's even comparable to those two.
maybe Animal Crossing? I don't know.
I mean, I've been playing an embarrassing amount of Stardew Valley.
Right.
And
That's Harvest Moon though. It's not quite Animal Crossing.
Okay, yeah, I respect that. It's the same idea with Collectathon, right? Is it not?
They're both
No,
cozy.
Animal Crossing's a debt-a-thon, please.
I,
Paying off your debt.
But I do think they're both in that cozy game kind
Yeah,
of
they're
genre.
definitely cozy games, but there's I think the three big cozy game things are, well, now it's going to be Stardew, but it started from Harvest Moon, and Stardew's Eclipse It, The Sims, and then Animal Crossing, and you're going to kind of get games that draw from those three and mix and match there. I think those are your big three cozy styles of games.
yeah.
Like Cozy Grove would be Animal Crossing-esque one, and it was okay.
No. If Nintendo died tomorrow, I would not shed a tear.
No, and it seems like every other console is good for Nintendo. Like after
They do tend to have a weird.
well, even a lot of people
on-off.
argue that GameCube was not a success. I think
No, monetarily, it was objectively a failure.
Really?
so.
Yeah.
It
The
was so
NES
important to me,
and the
though.
Super Nintendo.
No, I
were-
loved it. It was an incredible console, but like in terms of business, it was a flop.
Even N64, as much love as I have for it, is also looking back on it. It was kind of a letdown.
Basically, after the Super Nintendo, everything
down
went
to-
downhill till the Wii. Then you had a spike, and then it was a
Wii
fall
U.
off, and then another spike with the Switch. They've essentially had 3 successful consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
so-
like Xbox and PlayStation are just up and to the right, more or less.
Arguable about the Xbox One, but yeah.
Yeah.
But you liked it, you liked that idea.
I liked the
Before
idea.
your
I never
time.
bought one.
You're before your time. Yeah, so
I had a 360. I loved the concept of the Xbox One, but I didn't have the money for one. And then I was like, by the time I was like, I'm gonna get a non-Nintendo I'm gonna get a real system. I was like, well, I'm gonna get the PS5 because that's just what speaks to me now.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
My number 1 is that Donkey Kong 64. Really fun game, and people need to quit bitching.
Who's complaining about
A lot of
that?
people.
The
a
internet
lot of
is it
freaking hates Donkey Kong 64. There are multi-hour videos complaining about the grind for this game.
Is,
And it never bothered me.
It's the most collectathon there is.
Yeah, it
Is
is
it-
the biggest and most bloated.
is it the shoot? Is there like a shooting mechanic, right?
Yeah, they get
Yeah.
bazooka.
Yeah.
Diddy has the pistols.
I had a great time with it as a kid.
Right?
I haven't touched it in a long time.
Yeah. Now I will say, and the thing too is, it's like the big complaint people have is that because there's different colored bananas color coded to each Kong,
And you have to switch to.
and you have to switch. And I get it. That
Takes a lot of time to
backtracking
go
is
back,
of the era, and it's not great. But I replayed it when me and Riley lived together. We had so many systems between the two of us. It was ridiculous. We were gaming all the time. We had 2 TVs set up next to each other, and we would both just we would just switch. There was one point where I was playing Bloodborne on his PS4, and he was playing Dark Souls for the first time on my Xbox 360.
That's cool.
On 2 screens next to each other, and we were both just like, "This is amazing!" Yeah,
Could not get any better.
right. But there was a point where we just had we were just running Donkey Kong 64 nonstop and just trading on and off between shifts.
So we did for Legends of the Games back when I senior staff. We'd always beat one a year.
Yeah.
Was Ocarina, Wind Waker, and then Twilight Princess?
Yeah, it was.
I remember, which one was my year?
That would have been Wind Waker.
Yeah.
That was my second year, so it was GameCube.
Yeah.
Now they can't play video games there.
Yeah. Like, ultimately, the thing
Not my fault. Lucas, I don't know if it was Lucas' fault. No, I think it was a couple of years after. But I remember he would, because that was the first year the dining hall was built, so I'd walk past and I just see Fallout 4 being played on the big TVs there. I'm like, I'm trying to keep it, tea at the most.
I do remember that. He didn't care at all.
No.
That's so funny.
That guy.
I don't get it though. Okay, just side tangent. There was some people that we senior staff with who would complain that we were playing video games. But yeah, all the time she wanted to sit down and watch a movie. I'm like, you want to know what's more engaging? Like building friendships, especially for guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sitting on the couch and gaming, playing Super Smash Bros. And all that, because that was huge too.
Yeah.
Then there's people who's like, oh, they're playing video games. They're not building friendships and all. Like, do you not know how guys work nowadays?
Yeah.
On my deathbed, it's going to be one of the memories I still hold on to. It's kind of just...
Still salty about it a little bit?
No, I enjoyed it. No.
Oh, I see.
Not that part. Not the person that said don't play it, but the bonding that was...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of good conversation. And crazy, like, after gaming, we would have good conversations afterwards a lot of the time.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so...
It's just like the spark that gets you guys talking.
Right? That was me and Baby Jay's thing when we were rooming in Spring Arbor. Yeah, Spring Arbor. It's like there was a point where literally I would wake up, and both of us would do this. We'd wake up, and the first thing we'd do is listen. We wouldn't even open our eyes. And if there was no sound of Dark Souls, it meant we got to play Dark Souls first. And you would just watch and wait, and then the other guy would have a class, and then you'd pick up the control and switch to your game. And we would just literally, it was just the Xbox was running all day.
Don't know how you didn't get a red ring, but...
Dude, I got so lucky. I had 2 Xboxes, I never got a red ring. The one I had was just old and just died of natural causes. It was like, it died quickly after I moved from Kalamazoo back to Michigan. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like, okay, the move just jostled it to death.
Yeah.
But it was great. Or like Dead Space. That was a real bonding experience. Melee was huge for the floor. Mm-hmm. Melee and Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2 were like the things that brought us together as a unit. And like, yeah, I'm with you on that. But like ultimately with Donkey Kong 64, the reason I like got kind of fed up and stopped playing it was just the clunky N64 controls.
Hot take was, they're not that bad. No,
they're rough.
They're nostalgia, 100%.
Yeah, and now for
Switch
being the first ever 360 console, they really started things off well, and like
the analog stick really changed things.
It did.
Unlike you, I don't like the D-pad that much.
I mean, I love a D-pad for a 2D game, but like at the end of the day, it's like. But that's the thing though is I know there's a ROM or like a modified ROM of DK64 you can get. Where you can change Kongs on the fly. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to go find a barrel, so the banana thing stops being an issue. And I wouldn't be surprised to learn that it's in, like, widescreen, high, at least 1080p. And you could probably use, like, if you could use dual analog, like, that's all you need. That game would be a ton of fun, and I'd play it right now. Mm-hmm. Like, fair enough. And I'm sure that ROM tweak, or whatever the hell you call it, exists.
Yeah, mod. Cause I have a Zelda one they have just quality of life updates since Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm sick of people complaining about DK64.
And it just had a banger opening song.
Right?
Alright, it's hard to pick my number 1, but I'm just going to shoot for this one. I think Skyrim is massively overrated.
What? I'm out.
Even with every single mod attached to it.
Nah, that one you're tripping. That one's scorching.
Could not do it. I loved Skyrim when it first came out back in 2011.
Yep, 11.
Loved it. Our youth pastor played it, and he was a wizard.
Dan played it?
Yep, Dan played it.
Wow.
And I thought that was super cool. It was a huge phenomenon. People were playing it on their refrigerators.
Alexa, play Skyrim.
You're level 57 and see a tall snowy mountain.
Climb it.
It's awesome. But I went back to it. I bought it on Steam on a sale, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And I downloaded the mods, and I just prayed and hoped that I would fall in love with it again. And first dragon, I think the second dragon that just came out of nowhere.
There's your problem. You're fighting dragons.
They come and fight me.
No, you just don't go with the main storyline. As soon as you get to Whiterun, you don't go and talk to the Jarl and go, the whole Bleak Falls Barrel thing. And you can experience the world without dragons.
I think
that was not English.
Yeah.
I don't know what you just said.
I was just gonna let it go because he seems so passionate about it. But
I know too much about this game.
that's fair. I think you're the one that told me you read every single book or something like that.
No, that was Lucas.
Oh, okay.
That tracks out.
Yeah,
I
that does
loved Skyrim.
Yeah, I just...
I will agree, I don't think it's the best Elder Scrolls game, especially because I'm a story guy. I think Oblivion was better.
Tried Oblivion. I was in a jail at some point.
You start off in jail. That one you definitely, there's a learning curve to it, but I think if you learned it, like the system, it might be more fun. But you're also a gameplay guy, more gameplay than story. So...
Yeah, I mean, I like both. I like a good story. I played some games that had pretty good stories to it, but yeah, I don't know. I just the magic is worn off for me, and I'm happy that it's a thing. I don't think Bethesda has done well with the amount of success that they've done. I'm not really happy with the company in itself. I heard that the TV show is pretty good. I don't know if you guys have watched the TV show.
Watched the first 3 episodes.
Oh, for Fallout, sorry.
Oh, I watched the first episode. It was good.
Was it pretty good?
Slapped.
Episode 2 sucked.
Was it? What is it on?
Prime.
Amazon.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of...
It made me want to play the game.
Yeah.
It's a good show if you don't know the Fallout stuff, but there's so many like just visual references and like callbacks that it's really good if you're a Fallout fan.
That's cool. Yeah, so I think Fallout, and I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think the Fallout is better than Skyrim series. Or,
Really?
well, not all. I don't say all the Fallouts because the first like two Fallouts were like
That's true.
over top. Yeah, I've never played those, but 3 and 4 New Vegas I think is better than Oblivion and Skyrim. But to be fair, I've only played like 2 hours of Oblivion.
Yeah.
I think it's like, are you more of an apocalyptic fan or fantasy fan? Like I just always lean more fantasy. To me, I like the Elder Scrolls better, but I don't think that's.
I respect it.
I respect your take there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other option that I had was I think Luigi's better than Mario. What? And I don't know how much of a hot take that actually is.
Definitely not as hot a take as Fallout's over there. I'll tell you that right now.
So.
No, especially like I feel like Skyrim is ballooned out to a lot, but yeah, I think the mods. I think probably shouldn't get the right mods. There's a mods that basically like turn it to Dark Souls, and I think you would love that.
Probably, yeah. I am interested. They said that 6 was coming out. Like what? Almost 10 years ago.
10 years, yeah. So here's the question for you guys: what is your favorite video game console? Is yours the SNES, or is it the GameCube? No PC. I'm gonna throw that out there.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
That'd be cheating.
Yeah, it would be cheating.
PS2 is a very, very real contender. SNES, GameCube, PS2 are definitely the first 3 that immediately come to mind. They'd be the ones to whittle it down from. If we're going favorite, not you can only have one for the rest of time.
Well, then that would be PC the rest of the time. But.
But no PC.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would probably go GameCube. Are we allowed to have peripheries?
Yeah.
The GameCube, no question.
We have the Congo drum like Lou over here.
Exactly. It had nothing to do with the fact that a bunch of my favorite SNES games were released on Game Boy Advance, and that the Game Boy Advance player
That's fair.
can be plugged into the GameCube, and then it's like you have Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, and a bunch of SNES ports to Game Boy Color. Plus, Ocarina of Time exists on a...
Super expensive, though.
Yeah, but it exists. If I can only have one, you'd be the one to take.
I might go 360 just because I feel like that has a good range.
360 is really good.
Especially like peripherals, you get like DDR or Guitar Hero,
Right.
Rock Band type thing.
I didn't even think about that.
I think PS2 would be my number 2 choice.
PS2 is a good one as well.
Because you can get all the good Guitar Heroes on PS2. I think you can also get DDR on PS2.
Yeah, it's definitely closer to PS2 than
Yeah.
Xbox 360.
Getting Nightfire, that's a good shooter.
I just with PlayStation 2, because I was like a kid, I wasn't like Lou. I couldn't play the mature games, so I missed a lot of like the.
Right.
Plus PS2, you got backwards compatibility with PS1, which is no small thing. So you get the Spyro trilogy, the Sly trilogy.
Well, you could get the first PS3, and then you have backwards compatibility with those ones. You just couldn't use the peripherals.
Yeah.
How's that looking, Lou?
Yeah, for me, it's always hard for me because there's always that middle space where there's PlayStation, there's PlayStation 2 games and PlayStation 3, or PlayStation 3 games on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, the cross-platform.
There's that
generation.
The generation platform. So I'm always trying to figure out. Cause I can get the best. If you think I can get the best PlayStation 2 games on PlayStation 3, or I can get the best PlayStation 3 games on PlayStation 4, and I think I'm going PlayStation 3. Because the lineup is absolutely insane, and pretty much anything that I loved on PlayStation 2 is on PlayStation 3. So.
Yeah, because you got like the Jack and Dexter over there, the Shadow of the Colossus, I think God of War trilogy.
Shadow of the Colossus, man.
It was pretty good. I didn't know about Shadow of the Colossus until I saw this movie with, oh my gosh, Happy Gilmore. What's that guy's name?
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler plays like a shut-in, and he's playing Shadow of the Colossus. And
Interesting.
It's a really weird movie. I couldn't even name of it, but that's how I really got into Shadow of the Colossus, which I find interesting.
I just picked it up on a Games. That was one of the great things back in the day with GameStop.
Yeah.
Kind of before you really could internet whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
It was like you just go to GameStop and just be like, this looks cool. And sometimes you get a bus, and sometimes you pick up Shadow of the Colossus for $8.
One time I bought a video game for my friend. I bought a video game from him and a video game from me. And we both had a GameCube. And I played both games to figure out... I tested this game to show...
Make sure you got the best one.
And he had a better game. And so I gave him the worst game. And
what were the games?
I cut out... It was X Cube.
XCOM?
No. Nintendo.
GameCube?
GameCube. It was a GameCube game, so I could not remember.
Ultimate crossover Xbox and GameCube.
The X-Cube?
X-Cube. It just sounds like
Game box.
Exactly. This sounds like a Nintendo iCarly
Right.
pair. Yeah.
Parody.
Yeah.
The Game Sphere. I think Drake and Josh did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
Game
they
Award
they
or
were
whatever it was
fighting.
called, yeah.
Yeah, they were fighting over it. Yeah, because if I get a PlayStation 3, I could play the Uncharted games. I could play Red Dead Redemption, Last of Us, BioShock, Mass Effect, Elder Scrolls. It's the Fallout. It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
I can have Rock Band. Yeah, it's all there. I will never get tired of it.
So Rock Band is probably my favorite gimmick, like game, or just even a console ever.
Yeah.
Better than the Wii motion controls, which died very fast.
Right. Now
so I play games to be lazy, not to.
We are
help with some
forgetting the original Xbox as a contender here, because you could hack the crap out of that thing and turn it into a emulation machine.
Same with the PSP, you know.
Yeah.
PlayStation Vita is a very good emulation device.
I heard that too. Yeah.
Something to consider.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of the big games on Xbox. Like I didn't play Halo.
I didn't play Halo either. Yeah.
Prime on Xbox, or you know, played a lot of Battlefront, a lot of KOTOR.
Solid
Never played
games.
any of the KOTOR before.
Oh, I love
They're fun.
KOTOR.
Yeah, I heard that they were fun.
Yeah, it's I'd be interested to see someone that hasn't played it before what they think about it. Because that's like them and Battlefront are like the Star Wars games. I feel like it's like we have company potentially.
We're doing a podcast. Do you want to come say hi?
All right. Well, thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Top Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if it's a little shorter, but kind of just did this for the fun of it, because like I said, it's one of our last times. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us a like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please give us a review and leave a comment. We'll read it off on the show. Other than that, hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you on the Discord.
What's up, Rob's mother-in-law?
Hi.